Hello, 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 and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alex, and right away, these are my socials. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to add your very own text effects to any video in DaVinci Resolve. If you saw my last video, you know the basics on how to get some text down, but today we're going to go really in depth and figure out how to make it eye-catching. You ready? Alright, let's learn. So for our first example, I'm just going to do a nice little text fade in. So I'm just going to add a fusion composition to the top of the clip. Trim it to size. Then we're gonna right click on it and select open in Fusion page. And honestly, if you want to make your rendering go a lot faster, I want to go to playback and then render cache and then make sure it's on smart. That'll make everything render a lot more smoothly. So anyway, like I said, we're gonna right click and open that Fusion clip in the Fusion page. Then we're gonna add the text. Just connect the gray square to the yellow arrow. And then we're just gonna write tricks. I think I'm gonna go with the college font. So then, I just want it to fade in on two separate parts. So I'm gonna go back to this text option right over here, right click on it, and then where it says character level styling, I'm going to click on that. We're going to go up to the modifiers tab up here. And I like to go from the end to the beginning. I like to go backwards, but if you want to go beginning to end, that totally works for you. I just think that this option works better for me. So I'm going to go about 10 frames in. I'm going to click right here to add a keyframe. And then we're going to go to the shading tab here. And now, what I'm going to do is, because I want this to fade in two separate sections, I'm going to select them in two separate sections. But if you wanted to do the entire word, you would just drag over the entire word. But I only want to do this end part of the word for the first 10 frames. So I'm just going to drag over the letters that I want until you see that little green box there. And then I'm going to bring the opacity on that one there. I'm going to bring that all the way down. And I'm going to make sure that it's element 3. Also going to drag that all the way down. Going to go about 10 frames ahead. And that's why we had that keyframe. Now we don't need to add any more. We're going to drag it all the way up. And save there. Once again, I'm going to do the same thing with the beginning of the word. And now it'll fade in just like that. Now for our next example, I'm going to show you how to do a negative text and then an also see-through text. These are actually going to be some of the easiest versions of the text effects that we have because it's going to be right here in this composite section. And if you can't find that, it's going to be under your inspector. So you want to make sure that you're clicking on the Fusion composition. You go to composite right here, and that's going to say normal. And then you can just scroll through versions that you like. I really like difference. Or overlay. So that's how you get the inverted text, or that's how you get the see-through text that a lot of people use for overlays and such. Now let's say you wanted to add the text behind the person. Now I have DaVinci Resolve Studio, so this is going to be a lot easier for me than it is for you, but there is a way to do this without DaVinci Resolve Studio. So first you want to click on the clip of the characters instead of the Fusion composition. And then you want to hit Control C, Control V, or if you're on Mac, it's going to be Command instead of Control. And then you're going to open that second clip in the Fusion page. If you didn't have Studio, you'd have to click on this little polygon icon here, drag it onto your timeline, and then you have to mask out the characters, which can be like super time consuming, especially if you're doing it for every frame. So you definitely want to find shortcuts here and there. So if you're masking out the text, I'd only mask out the bit of the character where the text is going to be. You just drag that polygon on medium 1. And something that's going to help you if you are doing this method is to bring up your soft edge. Just turn off my view controls. So that masking isn't that bad. But because I have DaVinci Resolve Studio, I have something really fancy that I can use instead. And that is called Magic Mask. So this is actually really cool because you can drag it onto your timeline. And then all you have to do is just draw a little line around the character. I'm sure you've seen people on After Effects use this effect. And it's gonna mask her out entirely, which is really cool. And then also to make it seem more realistic, especially if you're adding in characters where they aren't there originally, I like to add the drop shadow effect. So then, I'm just gonna drag that clip right on top. And now, the text is behind the character. And most of the time you're gonna have to make the text a whole lot bigger in cases like these. But look at that, isn't that so cool? And then of course, this can also be combined with the difference. Look at that. Let's say instead of the fade in, you wanted to do a glitch in for the text. Super easy as well. So first, character level styling, just like before. And then, let's say I want to do this from the 10th frame. I want to add the tricks part of Huntrix on the 10th frame. So I'm actually going to go back a frame to frame number 9. Add a keyframe right there. And we're going to go to shading, select the tricks, except here's where it gets a little different. So, because we went a frame before, we're going to bring value number 1 and value number 3. We're going to bring the opacity for those down to 0. Then we're going to go 1 frame ahead to frame number 10. And do you see these appearance tabs over here? We're going to click this one. And we're going to bring that all the way up. We're going to bring it all the way up as well. And then for the next frame, we're just going to go back to the regular solid thing. We're going to go back to the text fill. Same as the first part of the word. Bring the opacity down to 0. Go 1 frame ahead. We're going to select this little white box here. Bring the opacity all the way up. And then 1 more frame ahead, and we're going to go back to the regular A. And this is how it looks. So let's say you wanted to do the text as a border. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Layout, and you're going to change the type from point to path. This is my personal method. So then, you see that little cross there? We're just going to draw a path in all 4 corners. And this method actually works not only with the frame method, but pretty much with any type of masking that you wanted to do. So you'll see that the text is sitting right there in the corner. So I'm going to copy and paste the text over and over again until it completely fills the border. So give me 1 sec. Perfect. I'm liking how that's looking a lot more. So let's say you wanted to make the text move around the border. So first what you want to do is make sure your playhead is on that 0 again. Then we're going to select our offset. We're going to hit this little diamond right here to create a keyframe. And then let's go about 50 frames ahead. Then we're gonna go to the little offset X, and we're gonna crank that. So then, it'll move just like that on its own. And this is how it looks. And that's pretty much it. I want to thank you so much for making it this far into the video. If you enjoyed it, I would really love it if you would like and subscribe so you can have more of my content on your feed. And I guess I will see you in the next one.